All right, you guys, welcome back to Beyond the Barbell, episode 6 or 7. I'm not sure, we'll verify that before this goes up. But today I am here with another one of our awesome members. So Roger, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
I'm Roger. I'm a registered nurse and have been for over 40 years. I work out at Madigan Army Medical Center, and I am privileged to take care of soldiers and dependents and veterans. So that's what I do as a career and a calling. And other than that, I ride a mountain bike, which you can see in the back, and make jewelry in my spare time. And I go to the gym a couple of days a week. And now that the gym is closed, it's really an enlightening situation for me about how important that box really is to me in my daily routine. So it's been an eye-opener.
Yep. And Madigan that's considered Lakewood, right?
Lakewood, it has a Tacoma address, but it's situated more in Lakewood, yes.
So Joint Base Lewis McChord, one of the bigger bases, I believe, on the West Coast for sure, but pretty big base. And that's the hospital on the base. Have you worked in the military hospitals for all 40 years?
I have not. Most of my career has been in civilian, actually. Started out in California many years ago, working actually as a paramedic. I worked my way through nursing school as a paramedic. I was a flight nurse for several years in California, and then decided I wanted to do some traveling. I was a traveling nurse. I worked in Hawaii and Southern California, went back to Central California to my home in Oakdale, California. And then got the travel bug again, went to Albuquerque, New Mexico. I worked there for a while. And then the conflicts in the Middle East took off because I had a military background in infantry. I decided I probably could do some good. I re-enlisted as an officer this time and went in as a nurse, came to Fort Lewis. At the time it was not Joint Base then, and became an operating room nurse, a perioperative nurse, and was stationed here in 1991, and came off of active duty in 94. 94, went to work 95 in the local hospitals, worked at Multicare, then went to work in Harrison Hospital out in Bremerton, Good Samaritan Hospital in Puyallup. I was a manager out there for a while, and then was called up as a reservist to active duty, and ended up back in Madigan again as a major, and ended up at Madigan for a couple of years on active duty, doing what they call running the floor in the operating room, which is sort of like a charge nurse on steroids kind of duty, making daily assignments for the nursing staff, doing staff evaluations, coordinating patient care, and then went from there to, I did that for 2 years, and then went to Good Samaritan Hospital, where I was a manager for about 1.5 years, and then ended up back at Madigan when they civilianized the floor coordinator position, and I've been there ever since. So past 11 or so years, I've been back at Madigan.
Wow. That's cool. I feel like you have pretty good experience and have seen just about everything. So what does what we're dealing with now and what you guys are dealing with now, how does that compare to kind of the previous 39 years of your experience?
I've seen something similar when the AIDS crisis hit. I was doing some agency work in addition to my regular full-time job. I was doing some agency work in the Bay Area in California, in San Francisco. And I remember a lot of the same or very similar panic, probably even worse, when we just didn't know what was going on with AIDS, HIV/AIDS, and there was just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of angst among the population about how to address this situation and what to do and what not to do, and just the unknown, the fear and almost panic among the general population. And some of that bled over into the healthcare professionals until we got sort of some good information about what was really going on and how the disease was transmitted, and how to care for those patients. And, so I saw something similar to that right from the very start, but we had a quick understanding, much quicker understanding of how the disease was transmitted and how to be safe. We've come a long way since the early days of HIV/AIDS in understanding how diseases are transmitted. So we've got a quick fix on what the mode of transmission was and how to protect ourselves. So that's sort of the initial panic or fear of, oh my gosh, here's something that we don't know what it is exactly, or we have nothing to fight it as far as a vaccine or a pill or a potion. So, how are we going to address it? That's when the whole social distancing and droplet precautions, airborne precautions really took hold, and people started getting a grip on how to deal with this.
Yep. And so for you guys, we're in like week 5. And I like to say that here in Washington, it kind of started hitting us a week before that in terms of hitting our state. What has the last 5 weeks been for you?
Initially it was confusing, getting mixed messages or trying to get a fix on what our plan was going to be, how we were going to address patient care, where we were going with our operating rooms, how we were going to manage that. We quickly started doing simulations so that we could train the staff almost immediately on how we were going to do patient flow. Our hospital is a real center of excellence when it comes to training through simulation. We got mannequins, staff immediately mobilized. Our leadership was really good with that. We identified all of our PPE, got it out, made sure everybody was ready to go. We had a couple of different plans, settled on which plan was going to work for us. made a few adjustments as time went by. So it was a little unsettling, but in the perioperative setting, in the operating room, we on a daily basis don and doff our protective equipment. So I mean, for us, hand washing is a everyday, all day thing. Masks are everyday, all day. So our PPE, we just put on a different kind of mask. Gloves, all of those kinds of things are really familiar for us. So it wasn't a huge change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking, I don't know if you saw it on my last interview with Olivia, who works in the emergency room in Tacoma. We were talking a little bit about just the nature of your guys' job. It's almost like you've been prepared for this because every day is completely different. And so it's okay that things are constantly changing. I think you guys, just like first responders, healthcare workers, I mean, you guys have so many more similarities than I saw before in that you're just able to be flexible more so than I think a lot of other folks who are in more of a consistent day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, doing the same thing every year. So that's been really neat to see in that, I feel like with all this panic around us and outside, it's like you guys are like, we got this. Like, we're training, we're ready, we're flexible, and that's been really, really neat to see and hear more about. Talk to me about just the mental health side. We touched on it before we started this call, and so I wanted to touch on that again for everybody watching. Your thoughts in terms of the mental health side. I personally am looking forward to getting past just the pandemic and starting to talk about more of the mental health and the physical and health aspects of how we can help and treat this. But what are your thoughts?
I'm really uncertain as to how this is going to impact people's mental health. It's my hope that those people who have, taken seriously the stay at home and sort of sequestering themselves and understand the importance of doing that. When the distancing has been lifted and we start to getting back more to a normal flow of our daily lives, that we come to a better understanding of how important our social connections are and how important each of us is to the other. And maybe somehow we can come to a better understanding of how important it is to be maybe a little kinder to one another, a little more understanding. Maybe I'm just a little Pollyanna-ish about this, but I don't know. Maybe this time has given us an opportunity to calm down a little bit as a society. Although, I don't know, I still see in the social media a lot of anger and angst back and forth and finger pointing and blame and, he should have done this and she shouldn't say that. But I'm just hoping that, at least I know from my perspective, from my sense, is that I have really come to realize just how much I miss all my silver nano buddies at the gym, especially Art and Tim and all those folks that I work out with, because they keep me accountable and they keep me going and they give me encouragement. And this whole time I haven't really done much in the way of working out except the push-up challenge. And, you know, I just need you guys. I need all of that little community that works out in the box to keep me going. And I feel better. And when I'm around people, I can go for a bike ride by myself. That's no problem. I throw my bike on my car and go a lot by myself, but it's just not the same as when I'm with other people. And so this time has been real time for reflection for me. And I hope others have taken that same opportunity to come to appreciate the connections that we have with other people and appreciate that.
I hope so too. I know for me, it didn't take very long. I've been kind of on that same path. It took me only about 3 or 4 days before I realized that, oh man, I really don't like being here by myself. It's way better when you have people coming through. So I hope that too. And I can kind of understand the anger too, because I go through days like that too. Every couple days, it's like you feel angry and then you feel sad. It's like going through the you know, series of grief or whatever. It's like, I'm sad, I want to cry, I want to be angry, I want to be yelling at somebody, and then you're lonely, and it's like going through it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the other side where we can all be together and be close to each other and support each other in person, because it's not the same without it. I agree. So, well, I thank you, Roger. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for being part of our community. Is there anything else you want to add before we hop off of here?
Just want to thank you for keeping this community together online, for doing all that you do. You're amazing. You're, you know, our little box is a wonderful community. I love all you guys. So, hey out there, I think about you every day. I follow you on Facebook. I try to send thumbs up and make comments when you do your postings. Keep up the good work. I wish I were more motivated and could do this on my own, but I need you guys to keep me going and keep up the good work.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Roger. All right. We'll see you soon.
Bye.